Thanks for staying with us. So right now, before we go into our regular Thursday topic, we have with us the Executive Director, Institute of Counselling in Nigeria, Dr. Tolulope Oke Igaire. She will be speaking on World Mental Health Day 2023. And we know you're also a sex therapist, and you know that that is one subject a lot of people don't like talking about. So first of all, we'll start with mental health, but I'd like to link it somewhat to this issue of sexual relationships, healthy sexual relationship, because it's one of the things that causes mental health
100%.
in people. The lack of it or the excessiveness of it, either with some kind of mental. But let us start with what is mental health? Is there a definition to capture mental health right now, especially in Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for what you ladies are doing. I watch your show and I enjoy you a lot.
Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah, mental health is the state of your emotional, psychological, and social well-being. So it affects the way you feel, the way you think, and the way you act. So the way you feel, feelings are your emotions. The way you think is the psychological aspects, and the way you act is the social aspect, how you relate to other people. So mental health is not mental illness. So we need to establish that. It affects mental health is everything about you. How I am relating to you people this morning it depends on the state of my mental health. How I'm passing this message across to the world depends on the state of my mental health. How somebody is going to step on me and I'm going to look at you and I feel like, oh, maybe you didn't see me and I'll just walk away. I could even say, oh, are you okay? Depends on my state of mental health. Or you could step on me and I could like, are you mad? Depends on the state of my mental health. I could be dealing with a wicked boss in my office. Maybe that wickedness even depends on the state of my, what I term wickedness depends on the state of my mental health. And I could be, maybe the person is wicked and I'm seeing the person and I'm happy that I'm living my life in that office. Depends on the state of my mental health. And another person is with that same boss, is coming to the office, is screaming, is saying, God, I don't know I'm going to survive today. Depends on the state of their mental health.
We have a very unique set of individuals these days. We're called the Gen Zs. That any little thing they say, my mental health is being affected. They don't have, I mean, I'm not Gen Z, but they don't have time to really rationalize things. Like you said, it's all dependent on the state of their mental health. So what are some of the signs of mental health issues that people can actually look out for rather than just everybody assuming that their mental health is being affected?
Okay, so I think quickly, I think we jump into things as African without understanding them. So whatever is raining, we jump into it. And in a lot of cases, we make mistakes. And I think that's the problem with our Gen Zs. Everybody is trying to say, oh, my mental health is being affected. Do you even understand what you are talking about? So how do you know you really have mental health issues? Not when you are mad, like in quotes, yeah? But when you feel low, you have low energy. You don't want to do things. You don't want to meet people. Your sleep is being affected. The way you eat is being affected. Even your sex life, like she was trying to talk earlier, is being affected. You have low energy. You don't want to go out. You don't want to socialize. You have low mood as well. And a bit of fear, you are scared. And there's a sense of hopelessness, a sense of, confusion. You are not seeing any way out of whatever situation you are, not at a deeper level, but you are just low.
Let me jump in a sec. Isn't that life? Life is full of ups and downs. There'll be good days, there'll be bad days. It can't be all uppity all the time. We're all happy, I'm so excited. There'll be days where that's life. So why should that become a mental health issue? Because I'm having a downtime.
Now, so the mental health part is life happens. How you react to the life that happens to you is the state of your mental health. So you could be sad. I could be sad and I feel like, oh, I wake up this morning, I'm feeling a bit. What happened? Why am I sad? And I'm like, okay, maybe something happened yesterday. How do I make sure this doesn't happen again? That is, I am self-aware. But for some people, they just feel sad and they feel like, they don't even know they are sad. In a lot of cases, they are just cranky, they are acting funny. So before you know it starts degenerating and starts affecting the way they feel, the way they think, and the way they act.
Okay, so some people I would say, or I've used that term before, that it will happen to you, like life will happen. Someone is upsetting me, like, it will happen to you. So can somebody trigger a mental
Health
situation, health issue in another person.
Yes, 100%. But the flip side of that is, if you are optimally healthy, it is possible. You know, mental health is a spectrum. You might not be able to really stay at that optimal point because something happened, you move a little bit. But if you're optimally healthy, people's baggages will not affect you.
Yes.
You know, so because you will understand that. In fact, in a lot of cases, when you do things to me, I'm like, oh, maybe you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. It is not about me. Now, so the state of the mental health of the person, the way the person relates to you, depends on the person's state of mental health, and the way you also react depends on your own state of mental health. So it is possible for you to be affected. How you are being affected depends on your state of mental health.
Yeah. So with the conversation on mental health, some of the words that is associated with it is therapy, therapists, you know, professional counselors, life coaches. So these are words that we're hearing and being thrown around. And you're wondering, so who is the professional? Because you have a personal coach. Who do you go to? Do you go to a life coach? Do you go to a therapist? Do you go to a counselor? You know, who should you go to? Really?
So I'm just going to say like this. I said it earlier. Mental health is a spectrum, right? So let's just say at the far right hand side, at the end of the right hand side, let's say you have optimal mental health, and then at the far end of the left hand side, you have mental illness.
Okay.
Right? So maybe what you call your psychosis, your schizophrenia, and at that end is where you have psychiatrists.
Okay.
Right? Now, in between, along this line, I always feel like therapists and professional mental health counselors, not just people that are saying, I'm a counselor, I'm a this, professional who knows what they are doing, should be at the middle.
Okay.
Even though you should be along the line, but present majorly at the center. So your job is to make sure that you are making people to face this side and not this side. But you see, when I look at us as Africans, I always feel like I'm seeing multitude facing here. I'm seeing one or two people just walking. It's a matter of when you are. So people don't get there before they die. In a lot of cases, they don't get to the psychosis stage. But you know what? Because they are along this route, they have messed up a lot of people whom they are also bringing to this place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
You know, the reason why I wanted to add sexual relations, because I saw your profile.
Yeah.
That you're a sex therapist, and I thought, how perfect, because we don't have people like you here all the time. So whenever I have you, I like to, suck out some information from you. There are lots of women and men who also feel that other room activity is missing. And many of them feel that it affects some of them have accepted that, listen, I'm 70, I'm 60-year-old woman, I'm not supposed to be doing this at all. I've already done it in my years and I'm fine. Others feel like, I still feel like a woman. They feel like there's something needed here. The spouses are saying, please, they'll go and find one. The men are finding somewhere out there. Some men don't want to. But do you think this activity is so important in homes, or maybe it's overrated, as many of us think?
100%. Much, in fact, importanter, if I have to say it that way. Right? I say it a lot of time. Of course, we say there's no health without mental health.
Yeah.
In fact, there is no health without sexual health. Okay. That's the truth. If your sex life is messed up, you're going to be messed up. If you feel incapable in the bedroom, you will be incapable in the boardroom. It is what it is. You see, when women say, oh, he's not giving me money, he's not making money, I tell them, it's deep. The reason why he's not making money is because his sex life is in shambles. You want him to make money. You're saying, oh, I'm not going to have sex with you because you're not giving me money. Because we don't have money, we're having financial crisis. The reason you're having financial crisis is because you're not giving sex to him. Because if a man is sexually fulfilled, it is. It's deep. You see, if a man is sexually fulfilled, you see, men's sex, especially for men, and for women, but more for men, their sexuality is attached to their ego. If he's sexually fulfilled, like he feels good in the bedroom, as he's walking in his subconscious, he's feeling like, I'm a man, I'm in charge. You know, that level of confidence, that high self-esteem, that go out there, that go-getter thing, he doesn't even know where it's coming from because it's in his subconscious. So it's a deep conversation. It's not something we can have in minutes. But yeah, your sexual health has a lot to do with your mental health. How fulfilled you are sexually has a lot to do with your mental health.
Now?
The women.
The women, yes.
100%. It is the same. It is the same.
Wait, sorry to
So when, okay.
Go ahead, Mary. I'll come to you
With sexual health, when there is a dry-up season, could it be an indication of something deeper, like a mental health? Or could you just be live? You know, things are tough in Nigeria. I'm focused on, you know, getting things ready. Or is it just or do you think it's a deeper emotional problem, or is it a deeper mental health problem, or is it a deeper financial problem?
So, like I even mentioned it earlier, like one of the symptoms of mental health issues is because you start having low sex drive. You start losing interest in sex. So, yeah.
How about those that have over? And they will tell you because they are having issues, so all they can do is that.
They can think about it. So it's possible. That is not as common as people losing interest. But it's possible that people feel like, you know what, because I'm going through something, that's when I want to keep having sex. I mean, I'm sure that happens, but might be very minute compared to the fact that, you know what, especially for women, I'm not doing because it's not working. Okay. Yeah, so...
So I'll let you jump in a second, because when I see my mommies in church, they're happy. I can assume from seeing from outside in that they're not doing, they're not probably overly active there. Maybe it's something they do hardly ever do. I'm just assuming I'm just saying probably.
Yeah.
So I am seeing them. They don't look like you. They look like very pious, mommy G, you know, mommy G. And I don't feel like, and they're happy. Their husbands are successful. They don't need this for their ego to be pumped to be successful. I see the daddies are successful. Mommies are doing well. They have great children. And it's very possible that the other room activity has been retired years ago. And they're perfectly okay. So when I hear people like you, specialists like you say, it is so crucial. I'm thinking it doesn't add up. There's some people that they're not prioritizing it, and they're equally successful.
So two ways. Success is relative. You see, you could be looking at somebody and the person is looking very happy, but the person is going to the bedroom and crying all night. It is possible that the marriage is looking so beautiful and the person is feeling like, how I wish this could be there. So that's one. Secondly, another thing is, a lot of them too, you know, there's something that's called cognitive conditioning. They've conditioned. It's more like you are staying in your state of learned helplessness. So you have learned to, more like you have a niche for yourself. Like you develop a coping mechanism for yourself to stay in that place. The thing is, these people you are talking about, if they experience the other side of it, I can tell you 100% there will be changes.
Toby is finding, she's struggling to enter. Go ahead, Nima.
Who was bereaved. At the moment of that bereavement, it was like, I need to have sex. I was like, how does it add up?
Okay, so that relates to what she was asking earlier. It's like a coping mechanism. It's like an escape route. You know, in grief, there's a cycle of grief. The first step in the cycle of grief is denial. So she's in that state, this first stage rather, is the stage, so she's in denial. She does not want to deal with that grief. So she's looking for other things to make up for it. And that is in a lot of cases related to the question you were asking earlier. It's like you are postponing evil days. That is what it is.
Okay, so for the younger generation like me, right, for people watching younger, and they're not sexually active, right? And I hear you say that it affects your productivity. For people that are not sexually active, what's the correlation? Because, I mean, they've not experienced it, but they're still productive.
You will be more productive if your sex life is beautiful. Now, I also say that it is also relative. It could be that, you know what? For example, you are not sexually active because you are single, for example, right? So that's the reason why. So you could divert your attention to other things, you know, that are bringing you happiness. And everything also has to do with the way we think and process all of these things. The moment you get married, you feel like, okay, now I am now ready. And you feel like I should be having it, and you are not having it, the problem will start. Or you are not getting it the way you want to get it. But if you are single, even though you are not getting the benefits, because in your mind you are feeling like, okay, I'm waiting, it remains small. So there is that expectation that will be keeping you going, and then you can get those gratification and validation from other things.
Let me link this to mental health, because I want you to help us understand how this affects the productivity. I mean, I know you touched on it.
Well, can I quickly jump on this? So let's talk about the shaming. Women in our own generation, as they grow older, they don't have sex, or they don't even want to have it to fit into a particular class of maturity. And then you see them not optimal, mental-wise. Small thing, the person can spark up. Small thing, you blow it out of proportion. How do you help women? I'm talking village-wise. I know the women I'm talking about in that way.
Me, I don't understand the question. No. Maybe he does.
Older women,
Okay.
in your 50s, in your 30s,
Okay.
your grandma,
Yeah.
you think, no, it's no longer something for a grandma.
Okay.
But it's affecting you. Your kids are wondering,
Subconsciously.
everything you react out of proportion. What is happening here? So they think that you are not mentally okay, but you, maybe, is it the sex that you're...
Could it be?
That
Yeah.
you are losing, you are missing
yes,
something.
yes.
So the question is,
What's the
how do
whole
we-
health? So what do you need? What do you need at that age to be whole?
Okay, so now you can't you can't. I want to say you can't have sex with yourself when it comes to those people, right? It doesn't mean that they can't have sex. With
Their
themselves.
husbands are ready, but they are not.
Their husband they are shaming.
They are shaming. They are saying, oh, this is not.
There are no so you know
younger
there's a
people don't born
Nigerian or
finish.
African thing where you're a certain age you should not be seen to be wanting
and
things
just
like
those
that.
Joe, I
That
don't
is
born
not
finish.
edifying for a woman of your caliber and age, you know. So you too, you are.
So the question is it still necessary for that age to be
Yes.
So how
active?
do you help those people so that they can be productive? Because
Yeah, and so-
they do not know they could get better. That's
People
what
talk
you're
to
saying.
them that the sex is, or is it not important for them to?
See, this is where ignorance comes in, actually, right? And this is where sensitization also comes in.
Yeah.
We need to talk to people. People need to understand that they could be better. You could do better than what you are doing now. You could be flying if you take care of your mental health. It's going to take a while because, you know, one of the major causes of mental health problem is adverse childhood parenting, the way you were taught when you were growing up, you know, your conditioning. So it is like factory fitting. So before you will recondition those people, it takes a lot of time, a lot of coming to therapy, talking to them. And a lot of them, you are talking therapy, they are telling you, what is she talking about, you know? So I think it's more of awareness, talk more to them, or maybe help them to see the need, why they need to do this. And I think maybe in the village...
Do you have people of that age group come to you concerning sexual health issues?
I see a lot of clients. It's crazy. People have problem in Nigeria. People have...
See, that's where I want us to go because...
People have problem, right? And you see, and when people are saying people don't go for... My therapy is not cheap. And I tell you, I'm so busy. I book you like 3 weeks ahead at least, you know. So to let you know that people are desperate. People have been conditioned over the years. And the thing is even messing with their mental health. And they don't even know what is wrong with them.
I know Toby wants to jump in, but let me pause you. The reason why I'm so excited you're around, because we've treated similar topics for a while, and we've not really had a proper insight from a professional like you. Not so long ago, we talked about married women who they've conditioned their mind that this thing is not important, that they're okay. Unfortunately, they now started going to the gym just to get something. And then the gym guy, what they call them again, the trainers, are there, you know, being, so you're looking hot, you know, you're doing well, you know, and suddenly the places that have not been held and touched in years, that they've conditioned, wait, this thing is dead. Somebody starts touching, and he starts waking up. And they're like, oh my goodness, I am a woman.
I'm having issues currently that I'm dealing with in my private practice.
Exactly. Because we've dealt with it here. So as a professional that are here, how does a woman who has probably conditioned her mind that this sex is not important, I'm done with it, I'm okay, I don't have 6 children, I'm fine, I don't need it anymore, and then something somewhere sparks it, and then the guy doesn't even care about it, but the gym instructor is constantly on her case, maybe just helping her, and she's so tempted, she doesn't even know what to do, she's stuck. How can she get out of it?
Orgasm is every woman's right. I'm not saying marriage should be orgasm-based, but it is your right. So if you feel that way, you should not die in silence. The right thing you should do is to speak to your partner. Babe, something is missing. What can we do about this? In a lot of cases, the man also wants to. He want to.
Yes.
You think
like,
he will
where are you going? What are they telling you?
Yes. Who told you that there's something missing? Especially if you're married as a black virgin. How did you know that you're missing something?
That is why we are having this kind of conversation.
That's when
so that the men should be aware. So what I tell women is, in this situation, if you do not know how to pass the message across, just bring in for sex therapy.
You know, go come, man. Nigerian men
no go come.
They will come. If you want the marriage, you will come for. It's, you know, our women, we are automatically an enabler. African women are conditioned to enable.
Enable. Oh, God.
So you
Auntie, pause.
They will.
Enable. I need to write that down. No, let me go on a break.
Happy woman, happy
home.
happy life for
Happy
the
life.
man.
Let me go on a break. We have to discuss this enabler thing. So, I'll let you jump in after the break. We are enablers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.